everyone and welcome. I'm Oriel Morrison-Higgins and I'm joined today by Rudi Deysel, CEO and Managing Director of Wits Mining. Rudi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Oriel, and thank you for having me.
Now, for investors who are brand new to Wits Mining, can you give us a bit of an update of what you're doing at the moment and what you're building in South Africa?
Yeah, so Wits started with their first operational mine. We've started last year, July, with mobilization and started mining in October. So, our business model for the project is to actually do the construction of the project itself in terms of surface infrastructure while we are actually producing ore. And that also obviously helped with the funding of this project as well. Like I mentioned, October we've brought out our first ore, and we had our first gold pour in March this year. So very exciting times for us with this project, which is our flagship project.
And actually that project, correct me if I'm wrong, is South Africa's first underground gold mine in around about 15 years or so?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so look, we all know that gold production in South Africa did come down over the past few years. So it's great for us as a country and to actually have this opportunity to start up a new mine. It's a piece of ground that was just left behind, and there were a few issues around economic factors, possibly. But that gave us the opportunity to develop it and start a new mine.
So, Rudi, you've just broken through into the two-level mining horizon. So, can you explain in simple terms for investors what that actually means and why it's significant?
Yeah, look, it's very huge because it means that we are now actually on the reef horizon, which means that we could actually now start opening up stopes, which is the areas where we extract the ore, which means we could actually increase that build-up of our revenue stream, which got a very positive impact on our payback period as well as our rate of return on all the on our funding that we got, and it's obviously it helps with the project itself in terms of payback period.
And you've said that it saves around a year of development time. I mean, that's a significant amount of time.
Yeah, that's correct. So. Which is great. To achieve that, we had to complete one of the declines that we planned in this project, which is also a big headache out of our lives because, there's always pressure on getting those infrastructure completed when you start up a mine. And that's you need to do infrastructure very accurate in terms of it needs to support the mine over the life of mine. So that itself is for us a great feat just to complete that piece of infrastructure. But due to the fact that we were able in our early mining initiatives that we've done a few years back, and with this quick startup, we were able to actually reduce that mine development underground. And that's also that makes this project so great.
Now, you've also just received around 875 million rand in terms of backing from two major South African banks. And that must give you a lot of confidence to have that kind of institutional backing.
No, absolutely. Look, there's a few things behind that. The fact that to actually get this, you go through a rigorous process of due diligence. So you do have these external independent technical advisors to the lenders that really review this project and really they delve into the detail, the technical side, the geology and the resource itself. And if they give their tick on that, that should create a lot of confidence that this project will be successful.
Now, your scoping study obviously has been expanded to look at the broader basin, Witwatersrand Basin. When you look at that, what does that do to your expectations in terms of the size or the potential size of this story?
Yeah, look, we've got quite a big resource, so we know there's a lot of upside on this project. The one thing that everybody needs to understand, the Witwatersrand Basin produced, if we are conservative, 25% of the world's gold in history. So, the amount of information that we have is a lot, and it's very well understood ore body. It's very consistent, and it delivered over the years. Now, to be able to have that big resource, that creates a lot of opportunity for us to grow. And that's the intention, is to see how we could actually extend this project. The intention is to increase our production from 70,000 ounces to 200,000 ounces. And that scoping study will show us the roadmap to achieve that. And that's exactly why we're doing it now at this early stage, so that we have guidance to how we're gonna grow this project further.
So, Rudi, for investors who are watching you closely, what's your timeline from here on out? What sort of announcements can we expect to hear from you over the next couple of months?
Yeah, look, I think, the big thing for us now is we are currently finalizing our debt facility. So that's a big one for us, because that will close out the whole funding process, which took over a few years now. So that's a big process for us. And then, obviously, the scoping study results that's coming out. Look, the scoping study, we also need to understand there's a lot of options to consider, a lot of trade-off studies that's happening. So that will be a dynamic process. It won't just stop with the results coming out. We expect it end of July. It will just give us a direction in where we need to go. There will always be some optimization on the project, improvements on the business model, and that will be ongoing. Obviously, we would like to get to a point where we can start with the DFS as soon as possible, so that we can start planning for that expansion. But otherwise, the main objective for us is that production build-up, and to make sure that we hit our targets and our milestones that we set out for ourselves. And that's all happening now as we speak. So there's a few exciting things coming up. We also have a project which we call the Bird Reef Central. It's a gold and uranium project. We plan to start with exploration work in that in the next second half of the year. That's also a great opportunity for us. That's still also a block that's intact, so it outcrops on surface, shallow mining, low unit cost. So that's also, we need to get that uranium, which currently an exploration target, we need to get that into a resource. So that's also exciting news for us for our expansion of the company itself.
Fantastic. So second half of the year for that. Rudi, thank you so much for chatting to us today. We've really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ariel. Appreciate it. And that was great. Thanks.